Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I am on a rant this morning. You know, when things don't go right, I get in a right rant. And that's what's happened with this wool that I am knitting for this. I bought 2 balls a little while ago. Wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I bought 2 balls because I like the look of it. And when I was shopping around B&M, I think it was, it's B&M's trim, or I have the label of it somewhere. Don't know what. I must have put it in the bag. You know, I just took it off this morning. I don't know where I put the label of it. It's around somewhere. It's B&M's wool anyway. And I bought 2 balls first. And then when I decided, I could do, when I had 2 blankets to do, baby blankets, I'll make a baby blanket with it. So I went back to B&M to buy a couple more balls, and I wrote down the dye, the colour, number, the dye and everything, and I picked 2 balls and they were all the same. So never really noticed until I started knitting and I had to change. I changed one of the balls this morning and I'm looking at it and that doesn't look the same. It looks more like cotton wool. Don't know that you can see any difference there, but it has a look of cotton wool about it. The stuff that's, you got to buy a fine thin strand and then there's like bits, you know, little bits attached to it that look like this one. This is a new ball I'm using. It looks like cotton wool. This was the other one. They look more like little strands of yarn. You can see I'll turn it around, the little strands. But this one, you can't notice those strands so much. It looks more like cotton wool. And yet they're the same dye number, lot number and everything. They just use a different kind of material for it. Well, I had already knitted that much. I had knitted it's 7.5 inches. One ball takes me from here up to there, 7.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is, because you can notice how it changes from, don't know whether you can see on there, but you can't really tell on there. The change from one type of material to the other. So you can see that change like a stripe. So I'm going to knit this ball, it's more fluffy cotton wool like. I'm going to knit that ball up and then change to the other one. So there's going to be 7.5 inch bands all up the baby blanket. So one band will look a bit more fluffy than the other, but that really annoyed me, you know, when I went and bought them thinking I was getting exactly the same, and it's not the same. And I am using 2. I forgot I had another. I've already put one of this is the other blanket. I've done a couple of rows on that one. A couple of rows of the pattern. It's just knit 3, purl 3. Yes, knit 3, purl 3 for 3 rows and then change to purl 3, knit 3 that way. I've done a couple of rows on there, but that's got the other 8mm cable. And I like working with 2 cables, and I thought I only had 2. Oh, there's that label I found. It's the label, it was underneath that thing there. Yes, that was it's Little Dreams Boutique Cuddly Super Soft Knitting Yarn, machine washable knitting yarn. It's £2.50 for a 100g ball. So it doesn't say trim, it's just got B&M's label on it. It's Little Dreams Boutique, that's what it is. But that really, see, it really annoyed me. It has dye lot. I don't know whether I have the other label. I'll check my labels and see if there's anything different on the label. I haven't got the label in there. I don't know where I've put it. No, that's the one. And I've got on the other side of the bag. I've got some labels on the other side. It's not there either. I don't know what I've done with the other label off it. I'll have to check with the ones upstairs because there's still one bowl with the other label on to see if the... But it has a shade, the dye lot, not all the same. I suppose if I took one of the bowls with me, I probably would have noticed it picking the two bowls up and looking at them together, because you can't see the difference when you hold the two bowls together. But anyway, I forgot that I had another, was a pony one, and I never liked this one because it had a very long point on it. The point starts from down there somewhere and comes up, where this one, I think this is a Knitter's Pride. Well, you hold the two together where the point finishes and goes to the size of the needle. And this one here, that's the difference in the length of the point, and I never did like this one. But it does for what I'm doing, because I do not like working in the round. Because sometimes when you work in the round, if you don't get your wool, after you change to turn around to do another row, if you don't get the wool in the right place, it ends up inside the round, the cable, and it keeps getting caught on the cable when you're knitting. You have to make sure it goes over the top of the needle and the top of the cable, so it's free outside the cable when you're knitting. That's why I don't like, one of the reasons I don't like working in the round. And when you come to finish your row, I'm never sure what way to turn it to get the right, to get it the right way. So I prefer working with two cable ones like that. That's what I'm doing here. There's the one down there somewhere. There. Might be funny to some people, but it's not to me. It's the way I like it. So I thought I was working with one cable with this at first, the one circular needles. And then I remembered I had that horrible grey one, that pony one. But it's okay actually with this one, because you have to push the needle right in. You don't work on the points. Working on the points on that one, you would get a smaller stitch because it doesn't go, you couldn't go far enough down on it. But it's different working on this stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work to make the bands. So this has got the, I would say it's a flatter kind of fluff. The flatter one and then the fluffy one, and then it'll be the flatter one and then the fluffy one. That's the way I'm going to work it. And I found another way to work with this as well, was winding it into a cake. Because I had this, the ball, when you once, it looked like it was big enough, my little bag that I used to put the wool in. So you put this one inside there like that. It's just handy like that. There's plenty of room for it. But once you take the ball band off, it just fluffs out. And it was just sticking all around the sides, and the wool was catching on the sides. So I ended up just leaving it on the floor, and it was rolling all over the floor, and I'm knitting away, and I'm finding great big long hairs when I'm knitting, because my hair falls out. It doesn't matter how many times I vacuum the floor, there's always hair on the floor, and that was happening. It was picking up my hair and that. So I thought, oh, I wonder if I can wind that into a cake like the other ones. And it does, and it's very handy inside my bag there. Anyway, this is what I'm doing, just what knitting I can before I go to my granddaughter's. I need some sort of stopper when I'm knitting with these things, because I have to keep, this ends up, it keeps going back down there again, but I have to keep moving it up I need some sort of stopper on here to stop this once I've pushed it up, to stop it going back down again. But I haven't got anything I can put on. I'll think of something. Maybe some of those little twisty wire things. I just put one of them on and keep moving it up when I move the wool up. Anyway, that's enough of what I've been doing with that. And my own, I actually got quite a bit more done last night. I think I'm up to the armholes. I'm going to measure it properly. I measure it when it's on my knee. And of course I have one of those heated blankets on my knee. And I usually spread it over. But it's not very accurate. I like to put it on a flat surface. But I think it's almost 15 inches. So I'm almost up to the armholes. And I have used nearly a ball. That's how much I've got left of that ball. So I think it's going to take a little bit more of this. I don't think there's I have another ball. I don't think there's the same number of meters in it. There's other stuff. I'll have a check on the ball. The 280 meters. Most what I knit with, or what I have knitted with, is about 300 meters. So I know when I've knitted, like, see, when I knitted this one, when I got about up to here, that was where I had to change the, on the back, that was where I had to change to another ball. But this one's going to be just after the armholes from the look of it, so it hasn't gone quite as far. So it's just as well I have 6 balls of this, because I'm not sure how many it's going to take. So I've got that one ready for starting it, but I don't think I'll be taking this down my granddaughter's. But I'm going to wind this into the cake before I go, because that's the way I prefer to knit with it. It's easier, it doesn't roll all over the place, and just keep it on my knee when I'm at my granddaughter's. Well, that's if the dogs let me. I never got any knitting done last week because of the dogs, and I was there on Friday, so the dogs were the same, so they're probably going to be the same this Sunday as well. But anyway, that'll probably be for tonight. I'll take it with me anyway, but I know I'm probably not going to get any done. Just to train them flaming dogs to do what they're told, to get out when they're told. That's my dog. He liked to sit on the settee, but he never sat on my knee. He liked to sit beside me. And I have been knitting a bit more. I've got all the pieces done for this one now. Just have to put the neck on, so that's the back. The sleeve, one sleeve there, that's the other sleeve, and that way, one front, 2 fronts. So all I have to do now is the band, but I can't do any of the band for this just yet because it needs sewn up first. For to do this one, it's a band that goes all the way around. I do the band, I pick the stitches up all the way around and down, pick it all up in one. A lot of patterns I've seen, they have a join in the middle of the back where they do one half and then the other half, but I do it all the way around. I use the circular needles to pick the stitches up all the way around. And what I do when I pick the stitches up, when I'm doing each piece, the front, I pick the stitches up from the bottom up to where I start the shaping for the V-neck, and I write down how many stitches I picked up there, and then pick up the stitches from the neck shaping up to where you join to the sleeve, and then I write down how many stitches I pick up there, and then you pick up the sleeve, the back, the other sleeve, and then you come down the other front, and I make sure I pick up the same amount of stitches there as I do there. That's why I write it down, how many stitches I actually do, so to make sure I pick up the same number of stitches. So I can't do any of this yet because I have to sew it up first, because it is rather awkward to pick the stitches up when it's not sewn up, which I don't like to sew up. I like to sew up afterwards, but with a V-neck, it's better to sew it up first. And then I can do the neckband and do the tutorial showing how I pick up the neckband on it. And then that one will be finished. That's the 18-inch one for my next pattern and the tutorial to put up on my Sheila's Just Knitting channel. So when I finished that last night, and as it was night time, I couldn't pick up the stitches because I would be doing it as a tutorial. And in the night time I have to put the light on and that casts shadow over my hands on my table in my dining room when I'm doing that sort of thing. So I can't do any more of that. So I decided, before I started knitting on my own, I'm doing the 20-inch one. So I started the pattern for the 20-inch one. Because like I'm saying, this is my pattern and I'm doing a 16, 18, 20, 22 and 24. So I've been able to start the 20-inch one. And I am using this wool that I bought from Home Bargains. It's called Sarah Ashford. And this one will be for a boy because it's got little blue, mostly bluish spots and that. And it's a lovely wool. It's just ordinary acrylic. But it feels like, when you're knitting with it, the feel of it feels more like premium, because what I'm knitting with this is premium acrylic. And this has exactly the same feel to it. It's a beautiful wool to knit with, really lovely. I just wish there was more colours in it, because they sell packs of these for $1.99 in Home Bargains. The 50-gram balls. They sell a pack of 3 for £1.99, which works out about, how do you divide £1.99 by 3? 66, works out around about 66 pence for a 50-gram ball. And they only do packs like this of 3, there was this colour, there was one with pink in, there's another one with like stripes of pink, and there's one with stripes of lemon, and I don't know what other, I think there's a blue one with blue like stripes and that in, but they don't seem to do solid colours in them. I wish they did, because I would buy more of this, because I really like this wool. It's lovely to knit with. So I have 3 balls, which I know a 20-inch, I usually have to, if I have a 100-gram ball, I usually have to break into a second 100-gram ball, so there's going to be a little bit left over. I might be able to do maybe a little hat or something with what's left of it. So that's for the next size. I'm not doing a tutorial on this size because it takes too long. I have to keep stopping, and I could have this finished in no time at all if I wasn't doing a tutorial. So that's that one anyway. And then I still have, before I go down my granddaughter's, I'm going to start a little bit more of the tutorial. I only have one sleeve to do on this one for the cable and the garter stitch one. So I'm going to do a little bit of that as soon as I finish this video, so I can get this sleeve finished. And then I think this one's going to have a collar on and the button bands to do. So I'm getting back to this cotton wool stuff now. And I'm still really annoyed about this wool. This should all be, this wool I can knit with it okay, but I do have trouble. The stitches, pushing them from the cable back onto the needle, they seem to stick. Once I get them onto the needle, they're okay, they knit okay. But it's pushing them from the cable onto, there just seems to be a lot of resistance when I'm trying to push them up. See the stitches. Once I get them past the point and onto the needle, they're okay, they move okay, but just sort of getting them on. But never mind. Only 3 more balls to go. And I'll be able to send them off to Dagry in the United States. So that's my little bit for today. So I will be trotting off down on my car anyway, trotting off down to my granddaughter shortly for my Sunday lunch. And to see the kids moaning and groaning because I didn't get the right sweets for them as usual. Well, one of them does, two of them are okay. So that's my little bit for today. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.